I'm dumb, I'm stupid, but I have balls. They can hijack your whole project. He took all the money. They had worldwide fame. They know how to get you. Sell your soul to the devil kind of contracts. Like, there's a reason those stories exist. You have to have the ability to define your role very clearly. You need to know where every penny is going. Every penny. I'm dumb, I'm stupid, but I have balls. And that'll make all the difference. Now, that works in my business. Balls over brains works in my business. It may not work in your business, but I know this by the evidence because we've had I've even seen it in my own mentorings when I've helped individuals close deals. You think it's the people who are overthinking the process that are going to close deals, or the people that can simply be like, I don't know, you do it. You know, the people who go, I don't know, you do it, oftentimes get ahead of the people who are like, you know, overthinking the process. If you over-intellectualize a lot of the process, you don't get ahead. Go deep where it matters. There are going to be aspects of your craft where you need to nerd out, and you need to nerd out very deeply. You need to know all the ins and outs. You need to know where every penny is going. That's very, very important. Every penny, every micro penny, whatever. You need to know where it's going. But you have to discern, where do I need to have depth of focus? Where do I need to delegate things? Where do I need to eliminate things? Where do I need to automate things? And where do I need to have a shortcut mentality? Everybody says shortcut mentality.
Shortcut mentality.
So so let's ignore delegation and automation and elimination for a second. If we just think about our craft, go into your mind and think about what it is you're trying to accomplish, what it is you're trying to do. Think about the big specific result that you want from that craft. So if we're thinking about that, where are you failing to just go deeper with the nuances and details that matter, that would give you that differentiation and give you that mastery status that would separate you from your competitors? Where are you failing to go deeper? And then, where do you need to take a shortcut mentality? So the shortcut mentality is this. My buddy Marcel, who some of you guys know, who I used to live with, he's the hypnotist guy. He is the ultimate version of the shortcut mentality. Everybody say the 80-20 rule.
80-20 rule.
So the 80-20 rule is the Pareto principle, which means that if you look at any system in life or any business, oftentimes 80% of the results are produced by 20% of the actions. That can also be 1% of the actions producing 99% of the results. It can be either or. But the principle stands the same. It's always the minority of actions that produce the majority of results. That also goes for your dating life, by the way. Thinking about I need to learn the text game of this and that. It's bullshit. It doesn't matter. Set up a party. That matters more. Leverage matters more. Rather than you thinking about the text game. The text game, it's another way for you to procrastinate and not get a result. That's what it is. You understand that? So there are always going to be things that matter more. So let's go back to the shortcut mentality. Whenever you have information coming at you that is loosely related to your craft, it's not entirely related to your craft, switch your mind to the shortcut mentality. So look at the information that's loosely related and grab the core essence, add it to your craft, and then stay in your lane. Everybody say stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane.
So you're staying in your lane. Okay, give me one of your business models. Anything. Real estate, marketing, what is it? Give me anything. What is it?
Health coaching.
Okay, health coaching. So I need to be a master of health coaching. How can I go deeper being a master of health coaching? I need to study Viome. I need to study Ben Greenfield. What are they missing? What is Andrew Huberman missing? How can I differentiate myself? I need to go more niche, more differentiated, be better, be more competitive. How can I go as deep as possible with this? Now, what is something that's loosely related to health coaching? Maybe some of the communication stuff that you're learning here. Is learning communication helpful for coaching somebody?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Is it the fine details of what's going to give you the ultimate, are you trying to be the best public speaker in the world, or are you trying to be the best health coach in the world?
Health coach.
Health coach, right? So does he need to learn every last drip and drop about communication? No. So here's where we switch to the shortcut mentality. You come to an event like this, what are the few things I need to grasp? The 20% I need to grasp from what I'm saying that could apply to my health coaching. Just the couple things that actually matter. Maybe having more authority in your voice. Maybe, I don't think you're like this, but individuals who run out of shit to say. You learn how to talk and talk and talk. So you grasp the essence of the information. Everybody say the essence. So you grasp the core. You have to discern signal from noise. The wheat from the shaft or whatever that saying. What is it? The wheat from the what?
The chaff.
Chaff?
Yeah. Chaff.
What is that? What is a chaff?
It's like the part
Husk.
of the wheat. That's
Okay, the wheat from the husk. I like that better. You have to separate the wheat from the husk. Okay, so that's what needs to get done. This is where you're gonna get effective with your time to the point where you're like a spear with your focus. Because you have delegation done at a high level, you have automation done at a high level, you've eliminated things, and now you are able to go deeper with the things that actually matter, but you still have a filtration process for information that's loosely related to what you do. Because you don't want to be so open-minded that you come to an event like this and you think, I have to now be a great content creator, public speaker, whatever. Unless that's what you want to do. Does that make sense? You have to be able to filter. Everybody say filter.
filter.
This is what it means to be effective with your time. So now let's go back to leverage. What was the first thing with leverage that we talked about?
Building a world-class team.
Building a world-class team. You have to have the ability to define your role very clearly within that team. And some people get an unfair advantage and some people don't. My role is I was the founding director. I simply am entitled, selfishly, to the ownership that I want. I founded the team, so I set the rules. Everybody say my terms.
My terms.
You set your terms, and if you don't set your terms properly, will sharks embed their boundaries and terms on you? Yes, because they have decades more experience than you, especially if you're really going for world-class people, not your cousin Billy Bob down the street, but like you're actually gonna work with people that have decades more experience than you. You have to be able to say, I played this role, I own this much equity in the team, and you play your role. Everybody say, I do this.
I do this.
They do that.
They do that.
Don't blur the lines in between. The moment you blur the lines at the wrong time, especially when the project's already cash flowing, in the startup phase, there's a little bit of blurred lines because you may have to wear multiple hats in the organization temporarily, as long as you're clear that this is temporary. But you have to be able to quickly jump out of that frame for when things are set up. And when you have cash flow, it's got to be like, no, CEO, COO, you're managing this, you're managing that, you're working on this, you're working on that. Industry experts, you're giving me advice. You know, my marketing guy's doing this, my other guy's doing that. She's doing this, she's doing that, whatever. But the roles are clearly defined. And ownership really is a lot of the dirty secret of it all, is I have the control. And if I have the control, that's where you want to be. You want to have the control. The moment you give up the control, even if you've started the company, you're fucked. And when you're looking at anything in leverage, like I'm talking about here, proceed with caution. Because if you're going to get external financing, you got to know how you're paying that back. You got to know, like I got to know if I'm buying this company, the amount of money from the company is more than the debt I'm getting to buy the company. Does that make sense? I have to know the terms with a great amount of detail. So I always get a world-class lawyer to look over a contract between me and the leverage system, whether that's a world-class team I'm putting together, whether that's a marketing system, industry-specific help like the accountants and lawyers I talked about, external financing. And don't be afraid to ask stupid questions. Those contracts are, I don't know if they purposely try to make this shit overcomplicated, but I couldn't understand half of it. I get the lawyer to explain it to me like a 5-year-old. Every last detail. And believe me, you will catch shit that's meant to trap you. Especially if you're plugging yourself into a system that has been pre-existing for decades. They know how to get you. You heard horror stories in the music industry, right? You know, sell your soul to the devil kind of contracts. Like, there's a reason those stories exist. I have my buddy Ken, he's like the 6'5" white dude, jacked Abercrombie model who used to be an actor out in Korea. He was like a famous white actor out in Korea. And he used to date these K-pop stars over there. And behind the scenes, they sign contracts that basically keep them as like slaves. They're basically slaves to these contracts. So if you don't know what you're getting yourself involved in, just because someone has a smile on their face doesn't mean it's the right deal for you. I'll give you an example. Now, this might go over some people's heads, but in private equity, if you're trying to get financing for a business, a private equity firm may say, we're going to do a clawback. Everybody say clawback. That's say it again. Clawback. Okay, so the clawback is an example of terms that they would give you. So they'll say, okay, you founded the business. You want $1 million to scale to this level. So we'll give you the $1 million, but we're going to take 60% equity. Okay, so right off the bat, when you hear them saying we're going to take 60% equity, what should that tell you?
They want control.
They want control, right? Basically, they can hijack your whole project. They might like what they're seeing in your project, which is why they're willing to give you the money in the first place, but then tell you, oh, to mitigate our risk, we're going to take 60%. Okay, we'll keep building. But they'll have a smile on their face as they tell you we're going to do the clawback. Clawback meaning, oh, but when you run the company and the company hits 1.5 million a year, when you're at 1.25 million right now, then we'll give you 5% equity back. Oh, but then we'll give you another 5% equity back. Then we'll give another 5% equity back as you continue to grow the company. You're rarely going to get more than 5 to 10% back. Do you understand that? It's rare. It's rare. And they might say, and by the way, I said 60%, they might take 80 or 90% and tell you, oh, no worry, you'll get 10% back per year. In 4 years, you'll have the company back, and it'll be better than ever. You'll leverage your connections, all this shit. It's a joke. It's not real. So you have to be able to see past the mask. Otherwise, you will become the NSYNC or the Backstreet Boys who had a shit manager and he took all the money and they had worldwide fame, and by the end of the years they had like $10,000 to show for it or something like this. But they had all the fame, and the manager would pay for their hotels and food and this and that. So you don't know what you're getting yourself involved in, then get a world-class lawyer to look over the details. Make sense? All right, cool. So that's my little spiel about leverage. Any questions about that so far? But if you don't have leverage, you'll never have amplification. The gap between the celebrities or the niche celebrities or the YouTube people or this or that is not just the actions they took themselves, is the setup that they have around themselves. Everybody say setup. Setup. The setup matters as equally as important as what you do.